It's working.
Okay. That's it. Deutsch oder Englisch?
Englisch.
Wie soll ich den ankündigen? Was hättest du dann gerne?
Steam.
Das müssen wir ausmachen. Bitte.
Will er nicht aus? Nicht aus.
Yeah, yeah, it's working.
Yes, for him because he's a moderator, he will speak like this stuff.
Wonderful.
George.
What should I say about you both? I know Alex from several years. We didn't have so much beer.
Yeah, we need to get some here.
You're George.
Yeah. Das war mein Gott, das war ich. Ja.
Guy, Faith.
Guy Fox.
Okay. If you don't move it, that's all.
Hello. For my understanding.
Was soll ich über dich noch sagen? Nichts. Gar nichts.
Ja, wir können uns auch vorstellen.
Versuche ja das sinnvoll zu machen, einzuläuten.
Also, always laufen auf den Row Witness, Row minus Witness.
Ah, ihr lauft auf dem, fahrt auf dem Bild. Das ist schon gut.
Immer dann Felix.
Ah, nee. Wir haben es auch nicht gesehen, oder?
Nee.
Okay.
Mein Mensch, muss jetzt mal hier zum. Du bist aber nicht in München, oder doch?
Nee, ich bin Aachen, ich bin ab und zu in München.
Ah, stimmt, aber in Aachen seid ihr
Ja,
also
auch
ist
ein bisschen
ja
aktiv.
Ja, also wir in Leipzig haben wir gar keinen.
Du bist in Leipzig?
Leipzig, ja.
Okay, gut zu wissen. Da bin ich öfters.
Ja?
Ich bin
Vom Business her?
vom Business her. Als Berater komme ich in Deutschland so ein bisschen rum.
Ah, cool. Ja, ja, Aachen ist ja immer richtig beliebt.
So, ich bin nicht der Moderator, ich muss mal ein bisschen ankündigen.
Okay, macht ihr jetzt gleich los, oder?
Ja. Wie ist denn der Name der Business?
Row minus Witness.
Wo?
Minus Witness. Row. Row.
Meine Finger sind heute Morgen noch nicht so riesig. Wir können anfangen, oder? Okay. Eins, zwei, one. A wonderful good morning. Who had enough sleep? Okay, let's say 5%. The other one did everything right. We are here on day 2. My name is Detlef. I'm your moderator for the day, and I'm happy to announce the Steam Romania group. I'm quite active on Steemit as well since a bit more than a year, and I'm from Germany, as you may hear on my funny accent, but I live in Belgium, and there we do a lot of nice beer activities. This is something different. Now, we have the Steam Romania, and they do a lot about a pro-social movement in Romania with all the other Steemians, with all the network activities, and you have to make sure that you vote for their witness. There is a row witness, and they need your vote, so please have a look. I like to introduce on stage George and Alex, and they both are
Hello.
from Romania. I know Alex quite well. We had already a few meetups in Aachen, in Germany, and so on. And it's your stage. Feel free. I'm only your timekeeper. I give you a sign, and then I cut off.
Okay, thank you. Hello, everybody. How are you this morning? Yeah! Shall we do a little bit of gymnastics?
Yeah.
So, me, Alex, and George,
yeah.
we started the Romanian community on Steemit. This is our logo. Was done by one of our members in a competition. But let's start, because most of the people maybe don't know Romania, what Romania is. Romania actually is a country. No, I was living in the States and people asking me, like, Romania is the capital of Rome. No, Romania is a country and it lies in Europe. It's quite the same size as Britain, like the British Islands. Okay, it has 4 times less population than Britain, but it's the same size as Britain. Our most famous Romanian, maybe you know, Vlad the Vampire. We two are born in Transylvania.
Yeah.
And ironically, I cannot stay in the sun. I'm not allowed to stay in the sun. Very ironical. But
yeah, but that's true.
But
yeah.
I'm not a descendant of Vlad. Prince Charles is a descendant of Vlad, so British guys, take care. How we started and when? At the end of February, George started a Discord server. I started another Discord server, but on the same day,
yeah, on the same day,
with different activities, with different main.
Yeah, I started mine. It was called initially Promo Steam, because I wanted to promote Steam in Romania to get as many Romanians on the blockchain as possible, because it's a life-changing opportunity. And the fun thing is that I know Alex since the beginning of my, I don't know, let's call it Steam career, and we just emailed each other the links for the Discord on the same day, and we decided to merge them into one Discord and grow the community together as one.
We decided to keep his Discord that he started because he had 6 more people than on the Discord where I started. He had 10 people and I had 4, so it was the best choice to go for his Discord server. Yeah, that was the beginning. Why do we start it? You know, on Steemit, people do communities. We have the Flat Earth community from around the globe. Yes, the pun is intended. And we tried to bring more the Romanian community together, because there are a lot of Romanian accounts on Steemit, but maybe you know or don't know that Romania is, after Syria, the country with the most immigrants around the world. As we can see also here on SteemFest, we are 6 Romanians, 3 live abroad, which says a lot.
Yeah, and the other 3 are young, because that's the thing, most Romanians are just going abroad to work because the wages are really low compared to Europe, but the younger ones are still in the country studying or just staying, yeah.
No, we have the younger ones in the country that are here, but we started to have a place together, like we can communicate, help each other, and push a little bit up the value of what we bring to the blockchain, because we will talk a little bit later on some of the issues that we encountered. Projects. The first thing that we did together was scan the blockchain, find as many as we can and bring them together to the place to talk. I started before George a Facebook group. There was some, but they all quit it. And we tried to scan, we found about 200 something accounts. We have now about 150 accounts active on Discord for the Romanian community. And that was our main step, like to bring them together, and then let's start to work on each, because most of the content producers had very bad content. It was like a shame to watch it. So from the start. Now it's getting better. Then we started the curation project, not with the No One Soul, this was because I speak, then I let you. We started the curation project, inspired by the German model, because I'm also active in the German community, where some 5 or 6 or 7 people vote on a post, they say it's okay. Then we send the Steam Romania account to vote for that post. It's a little bit better, it's a little bit bigger. There's now about, I think, 3,000 Steam delegated. We try to push it every month to rise it. I think Felix is here in the room. He has the Deutschbot. He did it automatically, we did it manually. So we have to improve a little bit there. And then George came with 2 other curation projects with the help of an No One Soul, Eric.
Yeah, luckily when the prices were still like decent, Anonymous Soul gave us some help, and he initially just followed my vote, so I was able to create my community daily, and then later, after the prices started to go down, he gave us 10 votes a week on the Sundays, and we were doing like a compilation of all the posts, and we were voting them thanks to No One Soul, yeah.
Yes. So every week on the Sunday we gather the best posts and we send them to him, and he starts to vote them. The past month he was traveling in Russia, was not available, but we try to get him again to the curation, because it's a little bit of motivation for the guys. If you see a 7-cent post, you work 3 hours on it, you're not feeling that motivated. And with the help of No One Soul, with George and some other guys, we try to push them a little bit to influence them in a good way. The best project that we think we did, we didn't finalize it. It was a fail, but we learned a lot. It was a free journalist project. The project was mainly driven by 3 guys from our community, Alex Dori, Lishu, and Fonauro Lacu. The Romanian will start to laugh if they hear the name. But it was like to involve the Steam blockchain, others than only creating and giving rewards. It was like to bring more opportunities on the Steam blockchain, to bring more people from for the free press and free journalism. We applied. We had about 30-page document that was submitted to an NGO, which sponsors every year about $30,000, and we tried to hire with this project three writers, that finished the journalist school, came fresh from the university. We have some connections, like Fonorolaco and Alex Ori have connections in the University for Journalism, and we would have picked the top 3 students and let them write freely what they want, like, okay, on the main topic, like politics, but not hidden, and Steam could keep them in the anonymity for them to write, and it could provide them a value of money. Because we applied that each guy will earn about 14,000 RON a month, which is about 300 euros, through the upvotes that we applied for. But we came in second this time. We missed it because we didn't found the NGO that we applied for. We had to found it, and the documents were not ready yet. It's not only like, it's not going to be, this is more like social entrepreneurship. It's not because you have an NGO, you don't have a firm, you don't have a startup on it. So we try to push Team Romania to help Romania more. The challenges that we face on Steam Romania. I think this is one of the biggest challenges that Steam faces, the retention rate. From the 350 accounts that we saw, around 100 are active today. Because people are disappointed, they see it only as a blogging platform. They don't see that they can develop more stuff on it, they can publish different stuff. Then if they earn 3 cents a post and they work 2 hours, 3 hours on it, they get disappointed. It's not bringing value to them. But they keep on posting on Instagram and Facebook, so. yes, this is the retention. We try to solve it for the community, and then maybe we'll try to apply it also on different parts of Steemit if it goes with Steam Romania. The second thing we faced, we had a lot of internal fights with the scammer and plagiarist, because we had a lot of guys that were very inventive in scamming and plagiarized. We had a guy that discovered that Cheetah and Steam cleaners don't follow Hungarian articles. And he was translating via Google Translate from Hungarian to Romanian and then to English and post it on Steam. And then he was cropping the pictures from YouTube because Steam Cleaners doesn't detect YouTube videos. It was a fine detective because he was a repeated offender. We bailed him 2 times or 3 times out, and they said, okay, please, we don't say any names, but he then discovered that there is SteemPress doing the same because he wants to get the upvotes. He now is doing ActiveFit, like has a dog around the house that's running with his cell phone. He was banned from the community also. We helped Steam Cleaners a little bit on banning the accounts that he made. And a future project is the pro-social involvement. We need to start the NGO. It's very hard because we are on different places on the earth to get together to push it. These are our challenges at the moment. But the main challenge is the retention rate, which, like I said, we can bring people new to Steemit, and but they aren't coming. And fourth, we wanted to put this also. I think I saved the wrong one. How to bring authorities from the fields that are blogging or posting on Instagram to Steam, because you have authorities that are posting WordPress. We have authorities that are posting on Instagram, also from Romania. There was a girl that was supposed to be speaking. She was the first Steam speaker that was announced, Olivia Dejeu, but she didn't came. That she's also from Romania. We didn't know about her. She's an authority in her field, like she sells kimonos all over the world, and we didn't know how to bring her here and to communicate with us. And that's also a challenge that we face. We also start building a website. It's a WordPress site. It's still in construction because the motivation lacks. Oh, not today, but we do it tomorrow. It's not ready. We try to do the Steam blog from Steam Romania blog from here. Also to use the SteemPress Advantage vote. If you can use it, why not? That's the reason. That's why we try to do it. Also, it's going to be also an English site. That's a little bit harder because we have to translate all the articles. This was on the first meetup that we had in Bucharest this year. We were in April in Bucharest. We gathered some guys that are longer on the platform. I don't say the names because some of them don't want to be named, but one guy has a reputation over 70, and he's very well known in the community. Usually he's appearing at SteemFest. This year he didn't make it. That's it. If you have questions, you'll gladly ask them. Answer them, not ask them.
Any questions about what these guys did for the community? Come on.
Raw minus witness.
You have to vote. Wonderful.
Which messenger did you use? Did you use like more Discord to chat?
We use Discord chat, yes, because most people use Discord that are on Steemit. We had also the Steam chat channel. Firepower gave it to us in Romania, but it's only people just come in, spam their link, and go away. It's not making any sense there. So we use the Discord server at the moment for communication.
I mean, this is like, we still don't have like a proper Steemit messenger where it's linked, the ID is linked with the...
We verify them mostly. Like we ask them who they are, they present themselves, and we are.
You did it manually, right? So
yes, we are doing manually. Yes.
Yeah, but I think, would you think would help for retention if you just have like you know an app that connects to another messenger that it's maybe funded by Steam or something that is directly linked with your ID, so you just can chat with everyone you know the ID of?
It could be. There's the Steam chat, But Steam chat was full of fake accounts, and you cannot.
Yeah, that's the thing.
That's the
I mean,
problem.
it's like that's why I wanted some link to the.
If you go to the Steam chat guys, they will say there's Bilal in 1,000 forums. If you know Bilal, it's a very famous Steamian that just joins with thousands of accounts and spams, like copies your nickname and try to scam you.
Okay, okay.
But this was a problem on Steam chat, so we used Discord because it has a better you can put bots on Discord, because you can track on Discord, you can track with somebody posts with a tag Steam Romania or the raw tag. You can track like tagging. You can tag when a guy is posting. You can track a lot of things and measure with bots on Discord.
And do you think that is, I mean, Steam has a lot of, for example, I bought my cartoon in Japan and paid in Steam. So do you see some, like for local like artisans, so like, did they see potential to sell stuff abroad without, without using Western Union, or I don't know?
I think the market, like there's the the Steam Bay app done by Pollux One. I think this I bought from America with it. I brought from Germany with it, and I think it's working. It's still lacking an interface, a separate interface.
Sure. But they didn't see it for themselves, so
that's a way we can also. But I don't want to be rude with my country. I wouldn't send money to Romania at the moment, or.
Okay.
You need an escrow account. This is one of the challenges that Steam can build an escrow account. Like a guy, you send it to the escrow account for a fee. Your stuff that you want to sell, you pay. The other counterpart pays for it, and then he sends back. That's the only thing I think on Steam that can grow this market, trading for SPD.
Okay.
And I think we shall use SPD as a trade method at the moment, because SPD is back to it doesn't fluctuate that much.
I have a lot of friends on Steam, so obviously I know what other communities are doing. And what I want to ask is, do we have any like social project, like helping children? I don't know.
We have some social projects that I don't want to see the names. Some of the guys in these pictures are helping some of the guys in the picture that have a worse condition. They went and renovated the house from some guy with their own money, and they met on Steam. That's crazy. That's very powerful.
Yeah, no, I was thinking, like, for example, as a project, to start like a project, like a Romanian project to help, I don't know, raising the awareness in business, whatever, like this type of project.
This was the journalist project, to have raise awareness, to put writers right, that were not supposed to be afraid of politics, because a lot of press is afraid to write in Romania at the moment. So they would have an anonymous account and they will write from it. We would have brought them a WordPress blog, linked it to Steam, and put them right there. And we paid for them in Steam about a fixed contract, a value of Steam that was 400 euros at the moment, 350 to 400 euros. This was the project that we applied for it. Like to bring social awareness like this, not only on politics to write, but also on social awareness like the stuff you're doing.
I mean, I understood you are stuck with the NGO.
We are at the moment stuck, but we will move forward. It was like, because the prices are down, the motivation lacks a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah, that's...
If you need any help.
Ask her.
Mm-hmm.
Any more questions? Oops. Okay, then I like to say thank you. I wish you all the best for the project. I guess we will hear next year a little bit more, the next 1,000 members you will have.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, thank you. We will have a next session.
Thank you very much.
We will have the next session in a few minutes, so help yourself with another coffee or some food or whatever. See you here. Yeah, we met last year.
every what are they called? Uh, TV channels, yeah. Each one of them are taking either one president or one politician. So just like a shit.
So you're recalculating and you had to do your dangerous.
Thank you. I mean, it's good. It's got skills.
Your friend.
You know, Alex, obviously, I think it's very major. How old is this person? 24? No way he speaks.
9.
Or 17 when he started.
Wow, and now you're
18.
18. Wow,
Yeah.
you're 18.
Yeah.
Yes.
Just to get your big talent from. Yeah, I'm 29, so I'm old.
I mean, I feel old. So
And you're
yeah.
rookie.
Hey, Sean, mate. What's your real name?
Christoph.
Ah, Christoph. Yeah.
Alex, no.
Community.
Oh.
He's,
Alex knows everybody.
Yeah, Alex.
he's, has a very cool project. It was yesterday. I spent the time.
Did you see it?
Did you see the Discord? The general chat in Discord?
No.
Or in Discord now?
I don't have it on the phone.
The picture was showing the picture. Big.
Oh, ist krank. Du musst hier ein Logo einsetzen.
Ja.
Da warst du.
Ja,
Hat der Koya. Auf den Lexi.
cool. Okay. Ja, dann schaue ich noch rein und mich bedanken, ja, aber ich habe es gar nicht am Kopf.
Also, war doch da.
Ja, cool, schön, dass du da warst. Hat's dir gefallen?
Macht ein gutes Projekt. They're doing a project, they bring
And we will sometimes have students from Romania, and we can send them to Florida as well. I made a new nice picture of you also in the presentation.
Yeah.
This one. But this one. Yeah, they are nice.
You are still on online.
Should I send it to you? my computer is the latest Mac. It doesn't help me.
I don't have my adapters, I have to say.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah, I love my MacBook Pro.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's the right tool for IT boys.
Yeah.
Um,
So yeah, first I'm gonna tell the story from my childhood. So to make an example of how I got.
tell me,
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I'm just trying to write a few things.
Yeah. To tell how how I got into understanding what's objective value. And then I'm going to explain why this is important. What's the main thing that's powering our product?
Yeah.
That I'm not going to tell a lot about product, maybe more really.
Wait a second. Put it like this. Behind your wonderful long hair. And as I had hair like this, I know how easy it is.
Not at all, right?
Yeah, this is the best way.
You had
Not-
hair like this.
I had hair a few years ago. I have to put it behind the ears. Okay, now it's working. Hide this somewhere you like to have.
Yeah.
It's still on mute, I think. Say something?
1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3.
Hey, that's scary.
Muted, demuted whenever you like to start. Until then, we are quiet.
Test, test. Good.
And try to
Nice.
have it away from all the other stuff. Yeah. How long are you on Steam? You don't have to.
Yeah, well, I'm mostly observing because learn what.
I know you are from Russian.
Yeah,
you're
from Russia.
For 1.5 year. I have your account name, and you mainly talk about your new product. So,
EPO. EPOI is actually covering. But I'm gonna. I mean, because it's very much
1, 1, 2.
Just even if I don't care if I don't get too high, but just is it difficult to
Like
do?
the server stuff, if you're knowledge and server administration and stuff like that,
Yeah,
It's
I
not
am
so
fairly
complicated.
tech savvy.
Yeah.
You know,
It's
I built 36 mining computer.
yeah, it's a normal C++ application. You need boost, you need a few things.
Yeah.
You just get the list of stuff. You make Ubuntu 16. You install it all, set it up, config, whatever. Done.
Right.
You can do firewall stuff. You can do some other optimization things. You could also run it via Docker if you want.
1, 2.
Yeah, I was looking to run.
Hello, everybody. Now we will start soon. Join our session. Take your seat. There will be go out and call people, yell and dance and do whatever you can to fill up the room. Okay, anyway, we will start even with a little group and we maybe get some more people later on.
Like running the node
So,
thing you do and have like some basic
For clicking, just I forgot about it, and I thought maybe there was a bigger.
yeah,
but I would
be careful. Normally I don't do this on this kind of Wi-Fi connections, but if your one is working,
because like if there is not anything else, it's like has a backdoor, has some
we will have a next session in a minute, so please feel free to join us. It will be some interesting stuff about a new algorithm.
Right. But I can shut it down from outside and running something like blockchain analysis program that isn't necessarily once you've downloaded it already. Anyway, we're going to listen.
let's say go on the other side.
Если ты позовешь кого-нибудь еще послушать, будет отлично.
Do whatever we are already 5 minutes over starting time.
The adapter for the
It should be here. Next session here. The adapter?
It should be here. If
Wait,
not,
nah. So, ladies and gentlemen, whenever we have in a minute our adapter to connect the computer with the video system, this gentleman will start. And he told me that he is so quick that he could do it even a little bit faster, that we are still on time after whatever
I only have 5
happens here.
slides or something, so it's not a big deal. 5 slides or, yeah, so we will even have some time for questions, I believe. But yeah, we're waiting for adapter, right?
An adapter would be helpful. Take your mobile phone. Do you have an adapter for a Mac? USB-C? USB-C. To video? Sorry? USB-C to HDMI? Ah, no. Okay, set.
It's PowerPoint.
No. No.
What we are waiting for?
An adapter.
It's here on 10 minutes.
On?
10 minutes ago, it's here.
Nobody told me. Sorry. Your adapter.
Perfect. Thank you. Okay.
Do you know maybe
I don't know.
Yes, there is password. Yeah, I know.
Can we try? I can only.
Maybe you should introduce each other.
Yeah, I didn't. That you were sitting there.
We're here for hours.
Now I know.
Fantastic.
I think you have a different machine.
No, it's actually mine.
No. Yeah.
Maybe I could use.
Alex, take your seat. We are still having some technical issues, as you see. Windows 95 is a little bit ago.
I don't know why, but I think your code is not good. You installed the app?
Yeah,
And did you scan yourself first?
yeah.
You did?
I was on 16 yesterday.
So it's working for you? I will scan you again because I noticed it's like if we didn't met, or maybe we forgot to scan back. No, I did scan you. So can you
Wait a
scan?
minute, I scan you here.
Okay, we didn't scan back.
Okay. Then you know whether
You were there.
and we needed more than 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see how this is going on.
Well, not the adapter. You have an internet connection? Oh, okay.
But we're running out of time.
Can I? We still have one free slot.
One free slot
At the very end.
before my one.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
12:25.
12:25. Then you set up everything. I was told
12:25.
Okay, so it's taken
12:25.
12:25.
And you change it on the agenda.
I certainly will.
Perfect. Ladies and gentlemen, now we all have together to sing, to dance, to do something else, because we just decided to move this slot due our wonderful technology, which is not working like we like to have the technology working. This happens from time to time on shows like this. So we will just wait for 10 more minutes, and then we have this slot at 12:25 today with full time, with enough preparation time, and hopefully again with you in the audience. So see you in 10 minutes with the next slot here. Sorry for having you waiting, but we will take care that next time technology will be nice and sexy.
What sort of adaptation?
Come. Yeah. Okay, sorry, I didn't make 10 minutes, but yeah. 1 hour. Yeah, okay, yeah. Great. Sorry. Yeah.
When is your presentation?
Yeah, at 12:25. I'm so sorry I didn't make
No
it.
problem. The thing is, our
Yeah. I think that's the next one. No, maybe it's you. Sorry. May I just check if my computer is working? Because yesterday I had a problem. Really? So I'm sure everything is okay, then I leave you the place.
Okay, is it okay if I
Oh, if you want, yes. There is no verse?
Yeah, PDF is on here.
Yeah, perfect.
It's always a good idea to check it. I was supposed to present yesterday.
Yes.
I was bumped 2 times.
Yeah, same for me. I had to reschedule. It's working? Do you need a mouse? Yeah, he said it's working. So if you can, if you patient. Ah, yes, no problem.
Stick, yeah. And then it'll be the PDF is right above it. That's PowerPoint.
This PDF?
Yes.
You don't need the PowerPoint?
Yeah.
I don't have a PDF reader.
Ah, well then I guess we could use PowerPoint. PDF reader.
Let's say. Oh,
Do you have Wi-Fi?
yeah.
Oh, well then it can open. Perfect.
Video is working.
Yes, the technician said yes.
We have a nice technician behind the wall.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean you can just open it, I think, and use Google Chrome to open PDFs now.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. It's right there, so just double click on it. And then select Google Chrome and OK.
Perfect.
And
Then,
how do we...
if
Oh,
I,
right here. Up, there's one.
yes, and switch. Yeah, working. Okay, just 1 minute. I would like to
Thank you, I
check
appreciate it.
something. is it blinking? Oh, okay, it's okay.
I guess it's the cable. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just the cable.
Like this. It is blinking. Yeah. We're checking this again. Mr. Steam board, Mr. Steam SQL, a great supporter of all kind of technology around Steam.
And a witness.
And a witness. Witness votes are
Yes,
very
I do not
welcome.
promote about my witness, but it would be a good idea.
What's the name?
Archange.
Is as well your witness name.
Same name. One of the best witness.
One of the earliest witness.
Yes.
Yeah.
At the old time.
Yeah. You like to use a headset?
Yes. Definitely. Want me to?
You don't have the hair problem, like the other guy just had. No, other way around. Like this, and I put the cable to the back.
Big one.
So you can move it.
No, it's not.
Move it like this. Right. And whenever you demute it, it will work. So wait a minute. Just there.
1, 2, 1. Perfect.
Okay.
Thank you.
To get some awake or where we are talking about?
Yeah, I have an aunt who did the same thing. She lives in Mannheim.
Very well known.
I didn't know that. How fast did it change?
One of these have to change in Mannheim. I've been so often in Mannheim. Never see the city, only the train station. The train station.
Yeah, the train system in Poland is deadly.
Yeah. We will start. I'll start with introduction. 1, 2. So, ladies and gentlemen, as you might see, we as well have a second part of this room, which is actually, nevertheless, just fun. The next speaker is well known at Steemit as he is supporting the whole thing since the beginning. And Archange is still scanning some people, and I would prefer to see you on stage. Is it your talk now, or whose talk? Ah, 1 euro Bitcoin. You're not ready.
But people are not for me here.
No?
It's my schedule now?
I don't know. Let's see. Or is the Bitcoin? Then your host is confused.
No, it's Bitcoin now.
Okay. Where's he gone?
Toilet.
Toilet. Nervous. No, he will be back in a minute. Yeah, 1 year Bitcoin. Okay. My speaker. I lost my speaker. We should start 2 minutes ago. The guy with Bitcoin around the world.
The guy with one Bitcoin. Oh, that's interesting. I'll actually wait.
We have to start. Okay. We are already overtime. So here we are again. I found my speaker, Remy Oxley, and he did a fun thing. He was traveling a year around the world on one Bitcoin. And I love to hear the story. You are from Poland, you're age 32, you told me yesterday, still?
Still 32.
Okay, maybe birthday this evening or something. He's on Steemit since August 17, so a bit more than a year. And yeah, we all like to see what you did in this year. And you told me you bought the Bitcoin quite cheap.
Yeah, relatively cheap. I'll tell you guys all about it as soon as I start the presentation.
Okay, then I give you my microphone.
Okay, thank you. Don't want to spoil any surprises. And I'm going to hand off my phone to maybe, can you take a few pictures? You know, for Instagram or whatever, or Steam it. So yeah, so my name is Remy Hawksley. It's my pen name. I traveled around the world for 1 year, 18 countries on just one Bitcoin. And it was not Hilton 5-star hotels, I tell you what, and it wasn't even that healthy of food. So that's lasted, unfortunately. Let's get right into it. Look at that. Look at this presentation I put together. That's a stock photo. I did not take that. There it is, day one. So I'm from Portland, Oregon. It's on the west coast of the United States. A few hours south of Seattle and way too many hours north of Los Angeles. I started and I bought Bitcoin at the time for about $4,724. That was last year, August, September area. And after that, I strapped myself into a roller coaster. I didn't know it at the time. In fact, I didn't know much at the time. So before I started my endeavor, I was fairly new to crypto. I had only really gotten into it a couple months before my endeavor. And that was on purpose. My producer had said, I need someone who's just fresh into it. And I need to know what you know about crypto. And I said, you know what I know? I know what the media has told me. The media has told me that Bitcoin and crypto is for money laundering, for sex trafficking, and if I go on this journey, I'm probably going to end up losing a liver, maybe a kidney, I don't know, organ trafficking being what it is with the crypto space. So I'm not sure I want to do this. And he said, don't worry about it. Buy one Bitcoin, see what it's like, report about it. Go around the world, go to these communities, see that crypto isn't what the media is saying that it is. It was quite the journey. I have to preface it really quick with this one suggestion. If you're going to eat something when you're traveling abroad, don't read the food labels. Don't do it. Right here is a picture of shrimp, which was very tasty, but it's called Seafood Family Photo. Over here, we have tofu, which was, again, delicious. But if you want to order it, you have to order fried tickle. Then up there, you can't really see it, there's a bunch of noodles, and it's called the Chinese Caterpillar Fungus Mix Loofah Pointed. I feel like it's supposed to be, you know, your private key hash or whatever. Then up there, definitely don't read it before you order it. It's just a little bit of earthy, delicious tasting noodles. But if you read it, then you're just going to think of this title every time you slurp up a noodle. Because it's called Old Man's Skin, right? So it's like just this old man wheeled into a wheelchair and then, no. Then of course we had French fries. Would like to eat potatoes. Yes, I would. I recognize them. And then my all-time favorite, a delicious soup with Chinese dumplings in it. And it's called cooked soup bacterial fish rot. Delightful. You can have it for 42 won. Delicious. Try it. Just don't think about it. So, little technicals, travel on Bitcoin. How I did it. I split it, my one Bitcoin, into 3 different things to help me out. One of them was my BitPay Visa, right? Wherever Visa is accepted, I was able to swipe it. I was able to use my Bitcoin through that Visa. Another one was a hot wallet, Electronium or Jax, and that was if I met people on local Bitcoins, I was able to trade. And then, for emergency purposes, I had a cold wallet. You can do a paper wallet, aluminum wallet. I did an aluminum wallet. I just engraved my private key on there. And then, in case somebody stole my phone, in case somebody stole my wallet and I didn't have my Visa, at least I had that aluminum block tucked away into a dirty sock. So I could just take that and just trade it, right? But I split it up because when I entered into this journey, one of the primary focuses that I needed to find out is, what is Bitcoin? What are cryptocurrencies? Didn't really know. And the primary thing was, is it money? And by using it in these different forms, I was able to test out that theory, if Bitcoin is money or not. It was really interesting. Down over there you see a sign, Bionic Brew, that was in Shenzhen, China. I was able to use Bitcoin exactly like money because I went to Bionic Brew and I had a burger and beer and I paid directly with crypto, which is fantastic. I could use it like money. So that proved one point right there. Another thing about traveling, in case you want to do it, localbitcoins.com, BTMs are fantastic as well. Some of them, just a heads up for BTMs when you travel, some of them do not dispense local currency. You can only buy crypto through it, but it's a good thing. 3, traveling on a budget. That's how I was able to stretch out that one Bitcoin as far as possible. Now people, when they hear that I traveled for 1 year on one Bitcoin, they're like, how the hell did you manage that? And I said, well, by being very uncomfortable. Extraordinarily so. There were beds that had bed bugs in them. There were uncomfortable, lumpy couches. But here's what's interesting about traveling in a very uncomfortable way. Let's say I wanted to travel around the world. I had a big budget, and I stayed in hotels and all sorts of other things. I wouldn't have actually met people as much as I did. And that's what brings me to my next point. I wanted to show a graph of what happened with Bitcoin, what happened, and it was a roller coaster. So right around here is when I bought my Bitcoin, and then it went down, and I thought, well, there goes my trip. It's gonna go to 0. I was brand new to it. I thought it was something like a bubble, right? It's just, look at it cratering right down there. I'm gonna end up with my 2 front teeth in the dirt. I'm not going anywhere. I'm not even gonna be able to go home. I'm gonna have to sell my body. And then it just kept going up, and it was just fascinating to ride this roller coaster because right around here was the first time I experienced true temptation. That was the temptation to sell. I was in Hong Kong at the time, and in the news I saw that Bitcoin was going from 15, 16, 17,000. In the news I saw that it was going to go to 50,000, to 100,000. I was getting greedy. Especially when I heard people talking about John McAfee, who said, you know what, it's going to go up to 500,000. And he was so sure about it, right? I'm sure you guys have seen this tweet. He was so sure it was going to go up to 500,000 that if it didn't, he would eat his own dick on national television. Now, that's a man with commitment. Say what you want about him, but... So I was very tempted at that point to cash out all of it and then live the rest of this year on a big budget, right? I started around 5,000. I was going to cash out around 18, 19,000. I was going to live, hotel rooms, that kind of thing. You know what stopped me? An OG, an original gangsta, the Bitcoin guy. He'd been in the space since 2011. And he said, yeah, you could cash out. That would be the smart thing to do. But it's not going to be relatable. Because most people are not going to cash out. They're going to keep holding on, hoping it's going to go to 50, 100,000. And if you just ride that roller coaster and talk about that heartbreak, talk about the adrenaline rush of it going down and then bouncing back up and all that hope and all that thing, it's going to provide a lot of drama and relatability. And it did. But you know what else it provided the most? It provided interactions with people. And this is why I wanted to get into this graph, because again, if I would have traveled with a big budget, I would have stayed at hotels, this kind of thing, that kind of thing. But instead, I was forced to get on couch surfing, to go on meetup.com and find local cryptocurrencies, email the admin and say, hey, this is the project I'm doing. Do you know anybody who will host me for a little bit? And yeah, I was super uncomfortable sleeping on those couches or on floors without mattresses. But the people that I met along the way, man, this crypto community, that really changed my idea of what Bitcoin and what cryptocurrencies are. And that's when I started to find out the next bit about the journey. There were candid interviews along the way which helped reinforce this truth that I'm getting at. I met Anthony Bourdain just a couple weeks, unfortunately, before he took his life, which was sad. But I talked to him about travel, about crypto even, and that's all part of the documentary too. Don't want to spoil too much. Vitalik Buterin, Erasmus, a really cool guy who runs Crypto Cribs in Zurich. And the truth began to dawn. Now, what's the truth? The truth is what is fighting against the lies. I had started this journey believing all of these lies, believing what the media had told me. With somebody like Charlie Munger, that it's worthless artificial gold, or he said that it was noxious poison. These are direct quotes that he said that trading Bitcoin is like trading turds. And here's another quote from him. Trading Bitcoin is like trading freshly harvested baby brains. I mean, how does he even come up with that? Has he traded baby brains and that's what enters into his mind as the first thing? What is this guy thinking? He's like 90, he looks like the skin's falling off his skull. He's 2 feet in the grave. And he really hates cryptocurrencies. And the problem is that he has a huge audience because he's Warren Buffett's right-hand man. He has a huge audience of millions of people across the globe, and he's spreading these kinds of lies. People are believing that cryptocurrency is something for organ trading, for sex trafficking, for all that kind of stuff, that it's just absolute dirt because of these people. And those are the lies that are spreading. But I was finding out the truth. Through my journey, I was finding out the truth. And this is part of it. In China, there's a lot of Bitcoin mining and crypto mining, we know that. But I met a few miners who are actually mining and only selling their Bitcoin to locals because they knew that the Chinese government was cracking down, it was making it illegal, and they wanted their fellow citizens to use cryptocurrencies, to learn about cryptocurrencies, and to be free from that oppressive government. That was amazing. Next one, India. There were people there doing daily jobs. There were people who were welding parts for those tuk-tuk things that run around, and they were actually accepting crypto as payment, not from tourists, but from other local people. Because it helped them, it helped free them. Same thing in Egypt, same thing in Europe. The vast majority of cryptocurrency enthusiasts and advocates, much like many of you here, are using the blockchain, using this new technology to free people, not to trade organs. I don't think any of you here are trading organs. If not, I have both my kidneys. Don't come after me. That's the truth. And what I'm seeing, what I'm trying to do now with this documentary, with everything that I've learned, is spread this truth. So originally, this journey of mine with the producer was just an idea about this one dude who doesn't know anything, traveling around the world on one, surviving off of one Bitcoin, makes it great for TV. But that's, as I travel, that's a selfish kind of endeavor. It's a really kind of just like popcorn flick. And both my producer and I agree that we need to change the scope of the documentary entirely to focus on this truth versus lies. That's what we need to change it to. We need to inform the general public beyond the crypto echo chamber, beyond like SteemFest or the Crypto Cruise or whatever. We need to let the general public know the truth about cryptocurrencies. And we need to let them know about all of these various projects that you guys are either involved in or invested in or building. Because it's really, truly going to set us free. And that's the new message of the documentary. Crypto will set us free. Financially, intellectually, all of those ways. So I'm hoping now that next year, once we zip up the documentary, finished traveling a couple months ago, right? And we have 178 hours of footage. It's like 20, 30 minutes of recording a day. Need to chew through all that, edit it, put it together into a 90-minute documentary, and then go on a film festival circuit and really get it beyond the crypto echo chamber into the audience of the world. We've already seen some interest from like the Berlin Film Festival, the Toronto Film Festival, already contacted them. So that's about my presentation. We're, of course, like everyone else, looking for donations to help make it happen, basically, so that we can save up for this film festival circuit and to inform the world about this truth that I finally come into. Yeah, that's the presentation. Now I'd love to open it up for any questions, because I'm sure you guys have a ton. And if you don't, I'll just cry myself to sleep.
I guess there are some questions for this very interesting journey. Who would like to start?
So what was the most uncomfortable sort of thing you did in the most, or what was the strangest experience you had?
Oh, well, actually, I'll answer one answer to both of those, uncomfortable and strange. And it was when I was in Thailand, in Bangkok, and I'm sure you guys have heard the rumors about Bangkok and how hedonistic of a city it is, which it is. And one of the encounters that I had is that I heard about one bar that accepted cryptocurrencies. So I went there thinking I'd get a beer. It turned out it was a massive strip club. Just titties everywhere. And the strippers there accepted tips in crypto. So it got uncomfortable because the strippers would have their QR codes, right, not tattooed, but put like right on the inner thigh right there. Right there. So whether it was Bitcoin or Ethereum, you could put that up, could scan that little QR code and give them a little tip, right?
So you seem like a relatively intelligent, aware person. Like, do you not have friends and family? Like, what? How did people who know you react to you doing this crazy thing? What was some of the most like crazy things they said to you, and what did you have to overcome to actually step out the door and do it?
Right. Actually, the most thing that I had to overcome were my own just doubts about it because of everything I'd heard from the media. But I certainly had quite the, let's call it a backlash from my mom. Yeah. Yeah, because she's an older lady, and she definitely believes in the things that the media say. So she said, I've been taking care of you for all of these years. When you were 3 years old, to keep you from getting sick, I hung garlic around your neck. I went to great lengths to keep you alive. Why are you doing this? Why? So there was some backlash there, and I had to keep in touch with her whenever internet would allow. And I guess that leads into one of the most heartwarming things, because when I finished the entire endeavor, she said she was proud of me, and that was pretty cool. Yeah, and also a lot of the friends too, because as you can imagine, my friend circle didn't consist of anyone who was into crypto, and they were also extraordinarily curious, but then also very apprehensive. I remember one of my friends, MJ, when I was leaving in the airport, he shook my hand longer than usual. You know, he made that eye contact, you know, like no homo, but I love you, man. That kind of thing, you know. Not sure if I'm gonna see you again, man. That kind of thing. So, but at the end of it all, at the end of the journey, they were all, I mean, they followed me, right? And they also came around to the whole crypto thing as I kept sharing about the people that I'd met, from all the way from Vitalik Buterin all the way down to someone in a meetup who had just purchased their first few Satoshis and was curious and was asking me. And I'm like, I don't even know that much, but I'll share with you what I have. And they're just creating this type of new swelling of knowledge. It was wonderful. Yeah.
I really liked your presentation, and I wanted right at the moment to wire you some cryptos, but I didn't see that you don't have any Steem or SPD QR code presented.
Yeah, yeah.
And then I was thinking on another challenge for you. Can you do this 1 year, living only on Steem and SPD without having Bitcoins?
Before coming here, I wasn't sure if that was possible, but then I actually met some people who encouraged me, and one of them is actually here. If you want to raise your hands, please. She traveled throughout Europe on Steem. Oh, you just visited Steemians. Same thing. Same thing, but still. See? Yeah, I mean, I would be so much more encouraged because it's not just the Bitcoin community. I didn't just go to like Bitcoin meetups. I went to IOTA meetups, EOS meetups, those types of meetups, and all around the world I saw that the crypto community, not the Bitcoin community, the crypto community is full of people who are enthusiastic, passionate, energized, who have heart. And so I think if I tried it on Steem, that would probably happen quite well too. Yeah.
There was another question.
I was just wondering, what was your, like, what drove the route? Was it random, or was it, you know, did you just throw a dart?
What drove the routes? Yeah, yeah. It was not random. It was, if I went back to the slide, it was the roller coaster. Right, so for example, I had a choice to maybe go up to Japan, but it's so much more expensive over there. And that was at the start of my journey that I wasn't quite sure. So really what drove the routes was also just the price of Bitcoin and where I could find cheap flights. And I wanted to know that it was going west, right? Because I didn't want to go back and forth like that. So yeah, so it was the price and the people, a lot of connections that I met. People were like, hey, I have some friends in Singapore. I have some friends in Kuala Lumpur. I went to Ethiopia only because there were people there who I'd been recommended to and who I chatted with and who had a place for me to crash. Yeah, so it was price and community.
Were there moments where you were scared that someone stole some of your bitcoins? Or like you
Yeah.
lost something or sent a wrong transfer or something like that?
Yeah, at the very beginning, the most. Because again, I hadn't gone on local bitcoins, right? And done any of that kind of trading. So I thought to myself, I'm going to go to this place and I'm going to send them part of my BTC. And then they're going to be like, all right, cool, man. Thanks. I appreciate it. I'm getting out of here now. You can call the cops. Bitcoin's pretty much banned in China, so we'll see how they support you. I was scared about that. And what I did, what I ended up doing is, especially the first few times, they were giving me local currency, so they were holding it, and I was holding the other end, right? And then and they were holding their phone, and I was holding my phone and send it, and once I sent it, I'd jerk it away from them. Okay, this is my money now. It's mine. I'm gonna go buy food. That kind of thing. But as it went on, I noticed these people laughing at me because they'd done this so many times that, to me, being so afraid, it was a joke. It's like, come on now, you don't trust me? I mean, look at my reputation. Look at the points that I have on there, you know. We're not all bad eggs. So, yeah, that's part of the journey that changed.
What do you do during immigration? I mean, they're asking for funds, and like, could you just say, okay, I have this amount in bitcoins, and I can fund my trip, and therefore you can let me in? Or you had your Visa card as well, which is connected to your Bitcoin funds. But what did they ever ask you how you fund your trip?
You mean in like customs?
Customs, immigrations, yeah.
No, they never asked. Sometimes it's like going to India or other places, Thailand, I think they said, oh, you have to have 10,000 rupees or whatever to enter and to show a flight out. And I would book a flight out just a couple hours before, and I'd use this program where I could cancel it. So that way I could have an intermittent amount of time in there. But anyway, to answer your question, no, they didn't ask me how much money I had.
But then
Maybe
you're lucky
because I'm white.
because a lot of people out of other countries, they're always going to get asked, and that would be not really an option for them just to say, okay, I have some kind of bitcoins.
Yeah, no, that's a good
You're
point.
fortunate.
Yeah.
Hi. Knowing what you know now,
right.
Is there anything, if you were to do it again, is there anything you'd do differently?
My first thought darted right back to that 19,000 at Bitcoin. Really did. But would I do anything differently? Exactly. I think I'd engage more. I'd engage more because that was so difficult. I tried that, not just at the beginning, but throughout it, writing. I have a Steam account. I've had it since the beginning of the trip, and I've posted several things on there. It's just like the Steam Monsters guy. He was saying at the beginning he would spend an hour or two writing a post, and then he wouldn't get much traction, right? And unfortunately, while traveling, there were quite a number of occasions where I wasn't sure if I was actually going to be sleeping where I was supposed to that night. There was actually 2-3 occasions when my couchsurfing host bailed on me. And then I had to scramble, either looking for a hostel or writing on the emergency couchsurfing place, hey, does anybody have room for me? Because the person just didn't answer. I was supposed to go there and I was supposed to spend time with them exploring the city and them hosting me, but that didn't happen. So I was just so involved with surviving, really. And also, I used my BitPay Visa for a while, but it was actually, I don't know if you guys know, but several months into my trip, their Visa license was revoked. So then it went to my phone and other things, and so it made it a little more harder to be spending time on social media and on putting food in my mouth. Yeah.
So based on your travel and experiences, what do you say about the adaptation rate and the future, if it will go mainstream? Because right now, kind of, there is a war going on. The governments also, they want to have their digital currencies and the things, which might lead, let's say, kind of oppressive states. Okay, I'm from Turkey. So if I do anything against the government and if I cannot use the cash, they can basically say, okay, yeah, you're out of the banking system, done. So you don't have food to eat. So it will go either that way or that way. And I think the way that how the people adapt it, how the people use it, will impact it. What do you see from your experiences, from your travel? Is there a chance the adaptation goes mainstream, or will be again slow, going step by step, and maybe not be able to fight back against the government's digital currencies, which will come sooner or later?
A wonderful question. I have so many answers spinning in my head. Yes to all of them. Here's a few examples. When I was in Myanmar, which is just a little west of Thailand, yeah, they are under a regime, a government, that has demonetized, that has taken away people's hard-earned money. The value of their money has inflated to such an extent that I was able to buy a wallet from a souvenir maker, a wallet made of their local currency. Because their local currency, what they had used, let's say they had used 5 whatevers to buy a loaf of bread, those 5 whatevers were now worth less than pennies. So what did they do? They made a wallet out of it and sold it to tourists. So they see how, hey, I'm putting in hard work, and yet this is what happens to my money. What's an alternative? What do I do? And in that place, I also met another miner through local Bitcoins who was doing that. And he's also spreading the word about crypto. Because yes, Bitcoin's volatile. Yes, it is. But government, the banks can't take it away. And so that will help adaptation. Another answer to your question, another very fortunate timing of me being in the journey that I was, is because I saw it come down. That was the second time I had a lot of fear. The first time was when it made that dip at the beginning of the journey, and the second time when it was cratering down from 1819, and I wondered how low it would go. And I just didn't worry just about that. I also worried about adaptation, about the ecosystem. And then what I've seen through the latter part of my journey, for more than half the journey, was that people, I mean, look at you guys. You're still working on it. You're still working on solutions. You're still working on your new ideas. It's tough. It's a lot of hours of work. It's maybe not the recognition or the pay that you would want, but you believe in something. You really deeply believe in something. No matter what if the price of Bitcoin right now is going to hit 500,000, John McAfee's going to be like, all right, I'm keeping my dick. Nice. Or if it's going to go down to 0 and we're going to see 1 million views on YouTube of that, you know. Whatever happens to the price, you guys are just so passionate about it. The crypto community is so passionate, has so much heart in it, that I don't think it's going anywhere. And we're going to find those solutions. We're going to find those killer apps. We're going to find things that bring in the masses.
Okay, we are running out of time. I could listen even a lot longer, but as we all like to see your movie soon somewhere, and soon we have Christmas time, you might have a wish to this wonderful audience, how they could support you whenever the movie is there, whenever something in between is there, so that you engage more and use the power from all of us to make it more visible, because the story is so wonderful.
Thank you, thank you. So 2 things to that I would love to ask of all of you. One, just check out my website, bitcoinaroundtheworld.com. It has a little trailer, actually, of some of the footage from the journey. So bitcoinaroundtheworld.com. And 2 is spread the truth that I learned, that all of you guys already know, which is that cryptocurrencies will set us free. Keep spreading that beyond the crypto echo chamber. Keep informing people, keep inspiring people like I was inspired by you guys. That's what I was inspired by going to these crypto meetups, by traveling like that. That's what inspired me. That's why I'm up here making a fool of myself, you know? So thank you guys, all of you guys, for being here, for listening to this, and more than that, for just being passionate the way you are. Never let that go. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Now we directly go to the next presentation, as I have, you need 2 minutes? We just need 2 minutes, so, or maybe only 1, we will see, just to change presentations and to get everything running. Grab yourself a water and enjoy with us Archange with something new, and whenever he has something new, it will be always interesting. Yes, everybody's coming back with some coffee and food. That's perfect. I like to introduce somebody I know as well quite a while from different meetups from last SteamFest, Archange. He did so much for the community, and it's so great to see he couldn't stop. He did something else already, and he will show it to us. You know, maybe all the Steemit board activities. That's he. Yeah. If you're a developer, may the Steam SQL database, which makes it way more easy to do something with all the data from Steam. That's he as well. And Archange as well runs a witness with his name, so feel free to support him as well on this topic. And now, I'm very interested because I don't have a clue what you're doing now. You will talk about Steam Flux. Steam Flux. Flux, okay.
Flux.
It's your stage?
Yeah, thank you. Hello, thank you everybody for being here. So my name is Archange. I'm a developer and I'm introducing a new service and application called Steam Flux. In my session, I will first make a quick overview of what Steam Flux is. Then I will make a demonstration of the product and services. Then I will show you the roadmap where we are going, because that's a project that I initiated only 1 month ago, on top of doing all those stuff that Lev described. And then there will be a Q&A session if you have a question, so you will be able to ask everything you want. Okay, so just the first question: how many developers are there here in the room? Not many. Okay. How much of you do you know how to retrieve data from the blockchain? How many of you do it? Not that much. Okay. So if you want to get data from the blockchain, what you have to do, if you're a techie, you have to set up a node. Of course, this is optional if you rely on public nodes run by those awesome people. Then you have to create a service to retrieve the blocks. Then you have to parse the blocks, extract the data you want to process, so you have to filter it. And then if you change your mind, you have to redo the whole process, or maybe not all, but you have to update your service if you need to parse different data. If you are a layman, you're quite fucked because you have to learn how to code. So the question is, how can we improve this? And I will tell you a bit about myself. So as Detlef say, I'm running Steemit board, so I'm running a bot that is retrieving blocks from the blockchain. I'm running Steam SQL, so there is a bot retrieving blocks from the blockchain. I have a curation trail, so I have a bot that retrieves blocks from the blockchain that try to find which user I support and then vote. So I read blocks again. And then I have an important one that's a notification bot that reads the blockchain, it reads the blocks, and then it notifies me about what it's important to me. For example, I am a witness, so I want to know when someone votes for me or when someone unvote me. I also want to know when someone speak about me. But for example, for SteemFest too, I want to know when someone reply to SteemFest. But I got so many answers from SteemFest because people like it, so I got hundreds of emails, more than 500 of emails per day, and I read all them, and they all say thank you, gracias, or thank you. So I had to filter it. So I had to create a service that do this job, and I say to myself, what if I would be able to get notified when something really important to me happens on the blockchain? And what if I could retrieve only the data I want, not everything? And what if I could define my own filter easily? Because with SteemFest, at first I say, if someone say thank you, okay, I try it. I can respond to all the thanks. I get it really kind, but I can't. And then people started to say gracias in Spanish, and then they started to say dankeschön, and I had to try at least to filter this message. So what if I could get only the data I want and the way I want? Because I know there is Gina, for example, that notify you via Discord, but you can tell Gina, it just say, okay, I want to get this type of notification, that's it. I need more be able to tweak everything. So that's where I said to myself, I need a tool. And I created SteemFlux. What does SteemFlux do? So you have the Steem blockchain, and you have SteemFlux. What SteemFlux will do, it will read the blocks. It will filter operation based on your own criteria. And you will see that you will be able to have very, very specific criteria. And then it will notify users, if you are layman users, or if you are a developer, it will notify your application. So you will be able to make your application react to something very specific happening on the blockchain. How will it notify you? For developers, we have queues. We will stack transaction into a queue, and then you just have to poll the transaction you are interested in and react to it. We will also call your own website via a webhooks. So you just have to give us an URL, and we'll call it with the information, then you do whatever you want with this information. For the old-fashioned guys like me, I like to receive emails. Yes, but you can generate an email, or a lot of people. For example, with Discord, I use Discord, but I do not get a notification somewhere. I just get a pop-up on my smartphone, and that's it. And I like to see what I read and what I didn't read. Okay, I want things centralized in a decentralized world. Okay, and then we plan to go to all social networks and web apps to be able to, for example, when I publish something on Steemit, I want to have a copy on Twitter, or tweet on Twitter, or maybe on Facebook, on another channel. So that's what I would like to do. This is what we call channels. So it's a way I want to get notified on what's happening on the blockchain. Okay? That's quite simple. So, first, no, I know there are developers and not developers, but I will try not to be too techy, so you stay in the room. I will show you the developer part. So, SteemFlux is a service, it's an API we have created for developers. So, every developer will be able to get in and do whatever he wants. So, I will make a short demo. You will see it's really easy. The first things you have to do is to authenticate into the API. You just send a query, you see here how to call it, and I'm unauthorized. Why? That's all when there is the demonstration. Okay, I just authentify myself into SteamFlux and I get a token. With this token, I will be able to do anything I want on the product. For example, so I just go here and call the API, sorry, and just get information. So that's quite easy for developers. You just send a request, you get the answer with all the information. You will be able to create subscription, you will be able to create channel, you will be able to create filters, and then you will be able to retrieve the information that SteamFlux will send to you. Okay? If you have questions, if you are a developer, please come to me later, because I can speak for hours about this, but that's not the goal of this presentation. Excuse me, I will drink a bit. Okay. So this is for the devs. That's an API, that's a service that you can use. For laymen's, we make it different. We created a small website. You will see this website. Use the API. I use my own dog food. I'm a user like any other. I just connect onto the SteamFlux API and then I interact. Okay? So I will try to find it and I will first log out. Okay. First thing to do is to authenticate. That's exactly the same thing we saw before the dev side. Here, I'm a layman. I just want to connect to SteamFlux and do something. Excuse me. Okay. First thing I have to do is to define channels. Channels is to know how I want to get notified or called, if I'm a developer, by SteamFlux when something happens. The simplest one is the email channel. So I have an email address. I just say this channel is an email, and then I give my email address. So I want to get a notification on my email address. Quite easy. Okay? Here, I created another channel, even if I don't like Discord to be notified. Why not? So I created a Discord channel. I created a webhooks. I just put here the webhook string, and I just say it's a Discord channel. Okay? Then I go to my subscription. Please, thank you. It's a bit better. And I just say, I will monitor myself. And I will use this channel. I want to get an email when something happens. Okay, perfect. I have a new channel. And then now I will set my filters. For example, I want to know when I get an upvote. So I will go to vote, and I will upvote myself. So the voter, oh no, I will do it differently. The voter is the voter is Archange, and the author is SteemFest3. So I will upvote one SteemFest3 post or comment, and I want to get a notification. Okay. Let's say, for example, I want to know when someone speaks about me. I will create an additional filter saying mention. Okay, it's about comments. And I want that in the body someone has written Archange. Okay. And I just select contains. It's a bit rough. We made it quick. Okay? So I just want to see if someone write Archange in the body, I want to get notified. You can create filters on all transaction types in the blockchain. Transfer, witness vote, escrow operation, anything, anything. And you can use any field. Of course, you have to know, currently have a knowledge of which field you will find in transaction. We will improve this. But you can use any field from the transaction and filter on it. For example, I can say, I want to get notified when someone votes for me with a weight of 10% or more than 10%. So I keep away the dust vote and I don't spam myself. Okay? Perfect. I got my subscription. If I select here different filters, I will see which filter I have set up. Okay? It's ready. I just have to come here and say activate. I will activate my subscription. Okay, so what do I need? I need to go and vote for Steemit board. I will put here my mailbox and keep this. Sorry. Okay. And I will now go on Steemit board website or blog, or I already upvoted. So I will go on a comment and I will upvote it. I will also go to my own blog and congratulate myself. Okay, reply, is it? Yeah. Okay. Perfect. So we have to wait a bit because SteemFlux only process irreversible blocks. So even if a block is produced every 3 seconds, your transaction, what I did, it's visible on Steemit, but it's not yet finally in the blockchain. You will have to wait a bit, but the email should come in. I hope so. I did it yesterday and it worked. Yeah, it should come. Let's do some more. Oh, yes, it's there. Okay. I got the notification. And you see here, you have the block number, transaction number, and then you have all the information here. Okay, you see that the voter is me, the author is Steemit board, then you have the perm link and you have the weight, all the information from the blockchain. It's a bit rough today. We will add formatting on top of this, but that's the idea. I can do the same with Discord. Let's create a new subscription called Discord. I will use my channel Discord this time, sorry. Okay. And so for the Discord, I will create we will try to spam ourselves, sorry, and say votes, no, or comments. I want to get more. And the author is Steemit board. Okay. And I just activate, oops, sorry, wrong one. Where is it? Yes, active. Okay, they are both active. So I will now show you here Discord. I just created a SteemFest demo channel. So you see, if you go to the channel here, I created a webhooks. And you see here, there is a small webhooks URL. And that's what I added here in my channel. So it's really, really, really easy. Okay? Let's close this. And here we go. You see Steemit board is sending congratulation notification to users. And so I get here. So you see it. I get here. The transactions, comment flooding in. It's really, really, really easy to set up and to use, even for a layman. Okay? That's it for the demo. Up. Okay, so what are the benefits of using SteemFlux? You don't have any infrastructure to set up. Nothing. You register and you go. It's really easy to manage. You see, interface is quite simple. You just click create your filters, create your channels, create your subscription, and it works. Full flexibility to define your own criteria. I made it simple, but you can go deeper, of course, in the way you construct your filters. So you can filter on account, you can filter on operation, you can filter on content, anything. And you have access to all information from the blockchain. So you will get all the fields. Up to you to say how you want to use the information you get. And then you can use your existing application or infrastructure right now as a channel. It's high availability, high scalability, and reliability. We have built the SteemFlux infrastructure on AWS. So we will be able to scale. There will be redundancy, because it might be a single point of failure for you, and we don't want you and your application to fail. So what's the roadmap? This is a very young project. We want to add channel data templates and formatting. You see, getting an email with a JSON string is not very useful for a layman, for people like me. I just prefer to get a message saying, oh, someone voted for you, it's this guy, and he voted on this post. We will add new channel for social network and instant messaging. We want to push information, as I said at the beginning of the presentation, to Twitter, Facebook, why not Snapchat, WordPress, Telegram. We have no limits. And even if you are a developer, come talk to me and we can create a channel together. We will allow you to replay the blockchain, meaning when you activate a subscription, you will be able to say, okay, I will start to filter things from the blockchain starting from block N or from yesterday. And we will add multi-tenant services, meaning if you are a dev, you can resell this service, create your own interface like we did, and say to a customer, hey, I offer you this service. I will provide you with this kind of information. I will do the job of configuration for you, for example. And then you will simply resell this service. Okay? And go live is scheduled end of this year. So, before SteemFlux, we were in a pool model. We had to go to the blockchain and retrieve the information. Of course, we get everything, and then we had to filter. With SteemFlux, We go to a push model. I will be sitting there and waiting to get the information I want, the way I want. SteamFlux is already MVP. I did the demo, it's working. It's a bit rough, but it's working, okay? So you get the information you want, the way you want. I'm here because we are looking for early adopters. The service will be free to use until the end of beta. And we are looking for project enthusiasts who want to be involved. We need content creator for documentation. We need people to develop channel interfaces. So feel free to come to me and have a talk with me. Okay, if you have questions at the moment, please remember this is beta, but I'm here to get your feedback.
Thank you very much for the very interesting tool. I directly thought into the direction from if this then that, and maybe as well joining services like this might be an interesting idea. But we run a little bit out of time.
Okay, no problem.
So this gentleman is around the whole show.
Yes, I will just say we created a Discord channel, so we'll be able to connect a SteamFlux channel on Discord. We created an account where we will publish everything about SteamFlux, so follow SteamFlux and you will stay informed. And of course, meet me here at SteamFest and maybe you will get one more point if you scan my badge. Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much. And even again more thank you for all the work you did for the Steam community. It's so great to use all the tools, and I know how much time you put into it.
Yeah, thank you. And yes, feel free to vote for my witness. I always forget to advertise about myself, but it will be really helpful. Thank you.
Fine. We will start in 2 minutes the next presentation. And just give us 2 minutes to change the technology, the machines, and the right presentation.
One, two, three. Oh, nice, nice.
Yeah, I don't know.
One, two, three. Okay, that's good.
Fine.
Nice.
Okay, now we have the session.
Are we waiting for some people that you actually asked to come? Can you check quickly outside to see? Maybe they're just...
Okay, we have now a very interesting as well, I think, technology session.
Yeah, well, it's... I will try to make it as less of technology as possible, because I know people are, well, not all people are comfortable listening to strictly tech stuff, and strictly I'm not a developer at the moment, so I will try to make it as as human as possible.
But the title,
human readable content for you.
But the title says Next Generation Social Consensus algorithm.
Yes,
and this
yes,
sounds
that's pretty
quite interesting.
That's pretty technical.
And
I
not
have to
so
admit.
easy to understandable with the first words.
Yeah.
So a little bit to your person. You're, as you told me, came all the way from Russia.
Yeah, I came from Moscow.
And
oh, Raphael is here. Nice.
And you are since 1.5 years on Steemit?
Yeah, something like that. I actually found out about Steemit when I was interviewed for a job at Golos, which is a fork of Steemit. I think it was around a year and a half ago, and I was curious about what Golos is, and it was pretty interesting, but Steam was actually more interesting because it had so much going on for it at the moment, and yeah, it was fun.
Okay, then I'd like to say your stage. I'm really interested to see what your stuff is doing, and
yeah,
there will be maybe joining some more people while you're talking.
So, is there anybody joining? 5 what? 5 people? 5 minutes? 5 seconds? What? 5 in 5 minutes. Oh, okay. I will go on. So, I will try to start with the story from my past, from my childhood. When I was little, I was a huge fan of Pokemon. You know what Pokemon is? It's like, well, Steam Monsters, but from the past, and it was pretty simple. It was a cartoon, and it was some games on Nintendo, so I was a huge fan, and I also liked to draw. And I liked to draw Pokemons, but nobody really liked my drawings. I was little, and I was pretty... I was sad because of that, and nobody could really appreciate them for some reason. They actually looked like... oh, I'm sorry, I forgot the mouse. They actually looked like that. These are not my actual drawings, mind you, but they were pretty simple, well, simplistic, I'd say. And I was not a professional artist. I wasn't trying to be one. I was just drawing for fun. And the thing is, I feared that my talent at the time had no objective value. So, but in reality, as I found out later, what I needed was to find someone who would value it subjectively. Yeah, okay, there's some more people, or... Okay, come in. So, and I actually did found someone to value it subjectively. So, when I have a sister, she's 4 years younger than me, and when we were both little, I was 8, and I think she was 4, and we were left home all alone for the first time in our lives by our mother, and she feared it wasn't the best decision to do, but she had no choice at the time, so she did it. When she was coming back, she was trying to hear what was happening inside the house, and what she heard was dead silence. She was fearing the worst, that something happened, that we killed each other or something like that. And, well, while in reality we were in the middle of a trade deal, I was selling my pictures to my sister, who was, well, more little than me. She was 4 years old, but she had some money, and I needed that money. And I found out that she actually liked my drawings. And I sold them, and actually everybody was happy. My mother was relieved that nothing happened, and she was happy because we were actually interacting, not fighting like we used to before. I was happy because I had enough money to buy something for me, and my sister was happy because she had something unique for the money that, well, she didn't have understand the real value to, but she couldn't get it anywhere else, and she got it from me. And I also learned something about the subjective value. So, yeah, so almost 2 decades later, I read the Steam white paper, and I found out about the part, well, that was called the subjective proof of work. That's actually, well, it's the same thing. And, well, now here I am, at the SteemFest, at the epicenter of all the people creating their subjective proofs of work for the world to see and hear and perceive. And I'm actually very happy to be here, because I've never seen a community like that, so vibrant and diverse. And I've actually came here to learn from you guys, because what you have here is very unique for me, and I'd like to learn from what you have experienced as a Steam community, and I like to receive feedback on what I have to say, what the product is, what the product that we're doing is. So it's, as I said earlier to some people in here, it's very similar to Steam, but it's very different at the same time. So I will start quickly about the consensus algorithm. I know not everybody is interested about that, but that's the core thing. Mind you, the Steam is run on DPoS, just like BitShares and EOS, and this is what we think is, yeah, the DPoI is what I want to tell you about. So it stands for Delegated Proof of Importance. You can actually read about it on my T-shirt, on the back of my T-shirt. I have it printed out in there. So why is it so important? During the last years, we had, I'm pretty sure you know most of this, but I have to just put this in the context. We had 3 major paradigm shifts. So the first one was fiat to cryptocurrency. We had this nice man tell us about how it actually is happening out there. So fiat is getting replaced little by little. So there's no going back after that. The genie is out of the bottle. We've already tasted it. We know what it is like. So this was the best step, and the most important. So the second one was from cryptocurrency to the infrastructure. That's that's the Ethereum virtual machine and other virtual machines that allow smart contracts to be run, that allow whole systems to be built, that allow DApps, that Steam also allows DApps, and so it's getting bigger and bigger. And the last paradigm shift was from the blockchain infrastructure to the whole economic system, with governance, with nodes that are judging the different situations, that are resolving conflicts, that there's resources that are being traded, and somewhere between the second and the third steps, the depots happened. And well, Steam is run on depots, and it's really cool. It's really nice. It's scalable. It's high throughput. It's what makes Steam. Because when I started using Steam, I was amazed at how quick it was with the transactions. Because Bitcoin is around 30 minutes, Ethereum is 15-30 seconds, which is still very slow compared to, I don't know, Visa. So so Steam was like lightning fast for me. And I was amazed. So, well, what is the next thing? What would you need to add next? What we think is you'd need to add importance, because DPoS stands for Delegated Proof of Stake, but stake is not the only thing that we're interested in here, because me and you as a Steam community, I'm pretty sure you have, well, more values than just stake, than just money. So what is importance? Importance actually consists of stake as well, but it also has transactional activity taken into account, and it has social activity taken into account. So whenever someone transacts you something, whenever someone makes a transaction towards you, it means that he's buying something from you, and he's buying something that you've brought to the system, which means you made the economy better, which means that you made it stronger because you've brought something from the outside, and you used local currency of the system, say, well, Steam's, to get paid for that. And which means you're more important to the system now. And then there's social activity, which works pretty well, similar to how it works on Steam, except that there's a lot of, well, we worked hard, well, for around half a year to fight the problem with the bots, to fight the problem with the multiple accounts voting for each other, and I can tell you more about it later after the presentation if you're interested, but there's many details to that. I will not go into that now. So, well, this is, yeah, I'm sorry, yeah, I'll go to the next slide now. So why is it so important? Because I'm pretty sure this slide is actually not liked very much by the whales, if they were here, of course, because stake should not be the only thing that's taken into account when the emission is distributed on the blockchain. That's what we believe, because well, the meaningful interactions that you people create on the Steam blockchain, that people in other blockchains create, they should be valued. They should be tracked by the protocol. They shouldn't be randomly rewarded. They should be inside the system. They should be something that's known as a meaningful activity that can be rewarded easily. So what we built was the UOS blockchain. It's in the testnet phase now, and we have the first use case for it is called uCommunity, which is the social platform, and this is how it looks like. It's actually, well, you see those numbers with grade signs, so it actually is important. So every piece of content and every person, every object, like an organization, like communities, we have communities, which is a collection of people. Everything has its own importance based on what it created, or who created it, or what's inside in case of organization, and the content is being, of course, rated in terms of importance. So we also have like interface for the wallet already. It's with the resources. So we're trying to make it as simple as possible, as seamless as possible, because we understand that people from the outside of the bubble we're living in, let's face it, they don't need the data, well, the information about the using blockchain. They need to just use the product and be happy with it. And so that's what we're trying to achieve, as simple as possible. You've seen my presentation, it's just black and white, so I'm going for the simple things. And I hope this presentation was as simple as possible for you and understandable, but I'm open for questions. Here's my contacts on Steam and on Telegram, and there's our GitHub. For those of you very keen to know what DPOI is in more details, there's a GitHub and there's a documentation in there. There's our yellow paper, and uCommunity is pretty much our manifesto, what we believe in, and we're basing our values very heavily on Steam philosophy. And we'd love to hear all the feedback you can give us to what you've just heard, because I believe you have the best right to do that. So because you've had this experience of community based on content and rewarding by the protocol. So yeah, that's all. Thank you.
One, two. Yeah, thank you very much for that speech. Do we have any questions? There are questions. Wonderful.
Great presentation.
Thank you.
Real nice and simple. I love the touches in the beginning with the Pokemon.
Yeah.
How do I sign up? How do I start
You go
using
to
it?
uCommunity, and the beta is actually, you go to uCommunity and there's a big blue button that says apply for beta. By the way, yeah, I'm so stupid. I actually forgot that we have different activities for different types of people. For those of you who want to develop something, want to try things, want to break things, want to tell us that they broke things and, well, how to fix them and get something for it, there's actual bounty campaign for that. because we're now in testnet phase, and there's a lot going on. We've already broken this blockchain a few times, and well, we've repaired it, which was a great experience for everyone, including me trying to defend us from the users that were yelling at us. But still, we also have a reward pool. I will get to your question then. Anyway, we have a reward pool for people who want to write content and want to try things out at our platform and want to see how it actually works in terms of, well, rewards. It's still testnet, it's not worth anything, but if you earn something inside, and, well, you will carry on that importance. If you're important in the testnet phase, you're still important in the mainnet phase, which is, well, pretty soon. It's not going to happen for a month at least, but it's going to start pretty soon. And on November 10, we're planning at least to open the beta for everyone. So on this simple website, u.community, that's the actual website address. We couldn't put the great symbol in the address box, but so we had to use the dot. But you can sign up for beta, and you will receive the notification when it's available. But by all means, just come to me, and I will tell you more about how to get to it. I will tell you how to get, well, sort of more exclusive access, because that is just the website for all the people, and you Steemians, you deserve, well, some more exclusive features, and yeah, that's how you do it.
Okay, so just going to u.community.
Yeah.
And then whatever we work on there, whether it's breaking shit or creating shit, that stuff moves on to your release. Whatever we earn.
Well, the importance moves on, so you start with more importance. That's what we're planning to do for now. But there's also separate pools of tokens, of actual mainnet tokens that you're going to get if you create some content. If you're, well, early bird gets the worm. Early adopters will get everything in this system, because I don't have the graphs with me. I'm stupid, I'm sorry. But the graph goes like this with the early adoption right here, and then people will get less and less things. So, well, if you want to try it out just for fun for now, well, maybe you're investing your time and resource into something that's going to be great. We're going to make sure it's going to be big. So, yeah, and we're not selling tokens or anything, by the way. We're splitting all of the tokens either to people who created something, that, well, tried to do something on the platform during the early days or during the testnet phase. And we're also going to spread it to Steam community, EOS community, and BitShares community. So we're going to, like, spread it as thin as possible, because what we're trying to achieve here is to reduce the whale problem. I'm pretty sure you're familiar with that. So we're trying to make the initial distribution as even as possible, so that everyone has, well, more opportunity to actually earn, to actually, well, progress towards something, to actually make it into, well, a content creator that's rewarded for what he does, or, well, whatever role you choose. Yeah.
Okay, we have another question.
I got actually 3 of them. Is the supply of your tokens limited, first of all?
No, it's not.
Okay.
Well, the initial distribution, of course, is, well, somewhere around 1 billion, but then it's not limited, because then will be emission,
okay.
5% a year.
Is the importance of on your platform something similar somehow to Steemit Power, and also
in a way, yes. It is similar in the essence of it, yes. But it's not, well, the same thing, because there's some differences. I can tell about that more in details later.
Okay, and the last one, like how the importance of each article, by which criteria this importance is measured?
It's subjective. It's subjective, pure proof of work. If someone likes it, this means it's valuable for someone. This means it should be, well, upvoted on the platform, visible, that it's upvoted by someone. And if someone else upvotes another article, it's subjectively good for someone else. So that's how it works. It works the same way as in Steemit.
But, okay, what's the problem of creating a couple of accounts and just creating
the
content of all of them and upvoting?
Yeah, sure. That's the Sybil attack problem that hasn't been solved completely by anyone, but we actually made it so that it's very difficult and expensive to do that because, well, there's several factors. I can actually go into technical details about that, but to make it short, importance works like Google PageRank. Those of you who know what this is, you understand what I mean. But also on top of that, there's clusterization. So if you create a cluster of accounts that vote for each other, you're not going to get anything because the protocol will know. So yeah, this is called NCD Aware Rank. We actually used this from the NEM project, you know, the NEM blockchain. They have it, but in very simple way. So we progressed with this and we used it to battle the bots because we understand that bots are a major problem in systems like that. Yeah, I can tell you more if you want to know later. Yeah. Oh, there's one more question.
One more question. One more last question.
Okay, so I'm gonna hope you can make this quick.
Yeah.
Because it's a pretty complicated question. But can you give a TLDR on how the social activity part is actually calculated by your systems?
How the social activity is calculated?
Yeah, for the importance.
Well, you get upvoted. Then there's different matrices that are calculated by the separate nodes, not the block producer nodes, but some other nodes that we have, and they calculate a lot of matrices. They need to know who upvoted who and what were their importance at the time, and well, several other factors. And then some importance is transferred from one to another, and then the one upvoted gets well, more important than other people, but the importance is only equal to 1 for all the system. So he only gets part of the whole system's importance. So that's how it works.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Quite interesting. I will follow your activities for sure, because it shows some different activities here. Now, I have to do a little bit of housekeeping. Thank you first.
Thank you.
Now we have a little bit of housekeeping. At 1:30, means in 30 minutes, after my little speech I will have now, we have the group picture in that room here. So everybody who is already here, you did a good job, we will stay here. And at 1:30, the whole group picture will be here.
That's right. We've got Fingerstick, who actually just won a ticket recently, and he wanted to do a super impromptu presentation, right?
Yeah, basically. Well, now?
Yeah, now. Quick. This is how it works, man.
Okay, okay. Well, I didn't expect that. Well, whatever. So, hey guys, I'm Fingerstick. I am Sandbox steward. I write for Oracle D. That's what I do on Steam. And I don't want to speak about Sandbox too much. Go make sure and visit their presentation. They're more eligible to speak about themselves anyway. But what Sandbox is, in a nutshell, it's something like more generally utopian that tries to like incubate projects and stuff. And I study information science on Faculty of Philosophy, and I always felt that we need more academic presence on Steam because it could, I don't know, drive the demand for the token. We need more like facts over fiction, basically, what SteemStem promotes. And we have this subject called project management, and we have this really enthusiastic doctorate towards new technologies. So I kind of thought that it could be this hole that could be tackled in order to connect Steam and academia. And that's why I came up with the project, Steam. I called it Steam and Academia because I liked better words, whatever. It doesn't matter anyway, the name. And what I'm trying to do there is to basically enable students to work on any meaningful project, whatever they find meaningful, and create this double incentive for them where they basically would be working on what they want. They would be receiving credits from the faculty, from the doctorate. So basically the work would not transist, but the reward would be credit, so they could like easily pass the school easierly, whatever, that's a bad word, but whatever. And the second incentive would be Steam itself, where they could present the project to the community and maybe get rewarded for it. So, because students usually have those excuses, either I don't have time for working because I need to pass the school, or on the other hand, I need money. I cannot do projects because I need to like do regular work to sustain my living, and I kind of thought that this double incentive would help basically the students to do what they want, to make a contribution, to do impactful stuff. And so yeah, so I presented that to the doctor. She kind of liked it, but she wanted me to test run the project to prove that students are actually able to do that. And so I came up with sort of like public decentralized library that we are working on. We don't have any programmers, we don't have any coding skills. We just, I guess, know how to form the framework for the platforms. So that's what we are going to do now, the next year. And basically, that's almost everything that I wanted to say. But what I want from you guys, if you would be willing to, I need a feedback. I need whatever input, whatever information you would want to give me regarding the project. It would be really helpful for me. I'm going to start presenting the whole project really soon. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I just wanted to raise awareness for this project so I could get a feedback. So thanks for listening, guys.
Thank you for being with us. Okay, now we are coming to something different. We had so many talks about wonderful technology. We had so many talks about how to get all the information out of the blockchain. And I like to do a little experience with you now. As you may know, I'm mainly on content activity and not so much yet as a programmer. Even if I can program, or I mainly forgot a lot of it. So we now will take a little bit a look on how to make nice content from what you just have. And therefore, I just did a post a few minutes ago, and this is something about the Beer Saturday. Some of you may know this activity where I motivate people since 74 weeks, I guess, to write something from their personal life to the subject of beer. As the beer is the third most drinking liquid on earth, we think a lot of people can do it. And I mainly do this for my fun and to give you an idea what you can do with content on a platform like Steam, because there's much more behind this as just beer. So everybody who is doing something on this content will earn. So maybe he will earn his next beer, or he will earn his next activities. So for this, there will be some tools coming around to help you what you have to do in a minute. And I have every week some beer activities here for you, and there I couldn't do a better presentation as just using my post. So there are some beers coming around, and I like to actually, here you see the prices. They were higher as we had more Steam in the challenge, and the Steam price was a little bit different. But nevertheless, we as well have supporters who give you beer coins. And the most important thing is this part, as I try to have some simple rules to do your activities. And this is something you could move to any other topic. So I just choose beer because actually I'm from Belgium. I like beer and it's an easy to go topic. And so from that, I like to hear stories. And I do this, as I said, a little bit more than a year, and we built a community. And if you listen to what Ned is telling us at the beginning, we have to build communities. We have to engage people, and we have to bring things together who love to be put together. So therefore, you may join your beer, but I like to have a post from you today about that beer in that room with at least 3 pictures and your individual story around this. And then you might win one of the prizes, and as well there, I tried to do it a little bit different. I spent way too much time every week to collect all the numbers and make a prize draw around this, which is fair. So not the one who gets the most votes and has the highest value will get the prize. There will be something like a lottery around. And as well, this is something you might do for your community, for your challenge, for your activity in a simple way. If you need any assistance for this, just connect with me. You find me on Discord or here on the conference. I will be here until Monday morning. And I try to make it simple, even if it looks complex. I just count the activities and I multiply this with some values, and it's not that, but it will result in a clear overview who took part on this challenge. And there we have a pot where I collect all the steam we get from upvotes from some supporters we have. Busbeer Geek, he's starting the challenge with me a while ago. He couldn't come this year, and here a big thank you for all the supporters. Some of them as well are here. Reggae Muffin, everybody probably knows, helps us every week. And I like to see some more, thanks Jean-Pierre, activities in that post, because it drives engagement, it drives fun, and yeah, this is something we might have on Steemit as well, beneath all the wonderful technology and blockchain and so on. So show me your post with a link into that, and we will have the draw later on Sunday. Normally I do it on Sunday morning after breakfast. And from there, yeah, we will start the fun part for today. There will be some more round tables later on in another room, and we have the group picture, as I said, in a few minutes here in the room. I do a little round table session later on where I love to have some of you to discuss your idea of a challenge, your idea of my assistance, or something in that direction, or maybe you have some wonderful ideas who we could do it more interesting for everybody. Yeah, I don't go with a water challenge. This is maybe not the thing I like to focus, but there are some other things, so marmalade or whatever you can think about. So at all, any questions about this? Jean-Pierre? Should I? Okay. This Saturday evening we will as well do a little beer Saturday in town. It's a well-kept secret or not. So there will be a notification in the app later on or tomorrow, we will see, where we meet at 9 o'clock in a nice beer restaurant here in Krakow. And I already made an arrangement with a table for 35 to 50 people. So there will be a post later on this afternoon about what we do there, and I love to get a counter on how many people show up, or Archange will program me something nice to count all these numbers or whatever. So yes, there will be a nice activity, and damn, I need a beer. Could somebody please bring me as well when I'm getting so dry inside? But I talked a lot now, so if... Wonderful. Thank you. Cheers to everybody. Cheers to Roland for the great event. And Anybody has some question around this? Any questions? I don't know what kind of beer it is. What kind of beer is it, ladies? Lach. It's Lacher. Do you know it? Does it taste? Together.
Polish lager.
Wonderful. It's a Polish lager beer, a quite normal one, she said. So have a...
Do you know how to say one more, please?
In Polish?
Yes.
I don't know.
Jeszcze jedno.
Any more topic-related questions? Anybody looks for doing his own challenge activity where he like to do some of the feature we use? You're all happy with the beer, that's fine. So then I suggest we will have some more pictures. We will have some more fun. We wait the next few minutes to get the picture for the group event together. And I scroll back to the top. I love this one. Okay, thank you, Prost. What is Nastrovie is in Russian language, and anybody knows in Polish language?
Strówka!
Strówka. Okay, I think we can train this until tomorrow evening.
Actually, can I have the mic for a bit? Because this was the last talk in this session, right?
Yes.
So, I mean, you reached out to me 3 weeks ago, and then they've said to me, hey, I want to come again. Last year was super great. I had a lot of fun, and you did the beer thingy in a great villa in Lisbon. But then he said, I want to be a little bit more integrated. And then I thought, okay, how about you want to host the room? And he said, yeah, of course, I want to do that. And really, I'm really grateful that you did this, and I was just reviewing you together with Vincent. We always do this internal review. You guys don't know about that. But we gave you a 5-star plus. And we also want to give you a little tip, just like in Uber. You were a great conversation. Thanks a lot, Detlef.
Thank you.
Thank you for doing this. Okay, so at 1:30 we do the group photo. I will now send out the magic notification, and then, yeah.
Prost.
Say cheese.
So what's the plan with this? This evening, or what do you? Mine is here. Yeah, we need to see color. Oh, color, yeah, no. Redo. Okay, no. Fine. No, I did it last where I will do things like a Romano for going out on Saturday evening to have a beer together. I saw that post and I brought some Belgian beers. That's fine.
gerade noch ganz gefeiert.
mikrofon może zamykać. Thank you. Thank you very much. This one is good.